Heard actually like, hey everybody, hey, welcome back to Buddies on Buddies, the show with two real life buddies talking about buddy action comedy movies. I'm Kenny Lane,
I'm Lucas Hill.
and here's our show this week.
Lucky, lucky people.
Yeah, lucky everybody, lucky you guys.
How you been, Kenny? It feels like it's been a minute.
Been a couple weeks, yeah. Been good. I went on a little birthday trip a couple weeks ago. Went up to watch like this at Olympia, this little campsite. May and I went camping, and then she got us tickets to MCW Little Mania. That was pretty cool.
What's that?
That is little person wrestling.
Okay, fun.
Yeah, it
Did you
was lively.
compete or just watch?
I'm not a dude. I'm a 6 foot fucking 200 pound TNT fucking shit. I'm not a little person. What are you talking about? No, it was fun. It was a yeah, it was very lively. It was packed too. Yeah, they put on a good show.
Good. How much do you think they make a year?
Probably not much. I was, going into it like Megan asked me out of the blue like 3 weeks ago, like, how do you feel about like little person wrestling? Those are on like a road trip, and I was like, that's an interesting question out of nowhere. Made sense, but I was wondering about that because it's actually MCW stands for midget, and they had all these like T-shirts for sale, like I love midgets and shit, or I fucked a midget, you know. And I was wondering because I thought that midget was like the N word for little people. I guess it is, but then some little people are okay with it. Like some black people are okay with the N word, I guess. So yeah.
I'm still not going to wear a shirt with either of those things on it.
It's just the conversation starter I don't want, I think. Yeah.
Great, cool. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. How about you? What are you up to?
I got a job and I left the job because I couldn't stand it.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so I just been working on my old job.
Right on. Well,
Yeah.
hey, if it's making you miserable, fuck it, man.
It was hell on earth, and it was a Sunday, and I took a shower, got my all my work stuff ready, my lunch
Uh-huh.
packed and everything, and I go and get in bed, and I was just wide awake,
Uh-huh.
like scared to death of having to go there tomorrow.
I was
Right?
wondering, is that why I haven't heard from you in a couple of weeks?
No,
Because the last time I talked to you, I was like, hey, man, I'm really proud of you with this new job and blah, blah, blah. And then, boom, I didn't hear from you. So I was like, oh, maybe that's why I haven't heard from
Kenny, no, it has nothing to do with it.
you.
I'm not like, oh, Kenny's going to be upset with me.
No,
Uh,
I didn't think so. It's like, you wouldn't care.
no, not at all. We just haven't talked. That's all. Uh,
Yeah.
no, that's not why. I don't know. Like it was a fucking trip. It was so isolating. Like you go and you're in a cubicle. You don't even talk to your coworkers, and there's two screens,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's call, 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 call,
Hmm.
call, call
Yeah.
for 8 hours a day.
Yeah. I've worked those jobs. They're awful. I
Yeah,
hate the cubicle office. Like, I'd rather work in a restaurant. That's, between the two.
because you're up and you're walking around and doing different
Up
things.
and walk around talking to people. I mean, it's like more physical labor. I remember like back when I started waiting tables in LA, like the first time I did it for a full like double shift, I was physically tired because I just worked like office jobs before.
Yeah,
But I don't know. It's something I really hate about. It's not everything's for everybody. Some people would hate working in wherever. So, but yeah,
exactly. I was kind of jealous of the people who could do it. I was like,
yeah,
I can't get through the week. I'm not getting through a year, so it's pointless for me to waste my time here and their time. So
right,
I walked. Yeah, that's what I've been up to.
right on. Good
But
for you.
I talked to my wife about it before I did that. We talked about it for a long time, and
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
just
it's best
circle
not to
back.
be a rash decisions. Just like jump
Yeah,
up and say to your boss, "Eat my fucking shit, sir." And then you come home. Like, what are you doing home? Oh, well, funny thing.
half day.
Yeah. Then you
That's like
start
the stuff.
packing up your suitcase, and I guess Megan's stepdad did that. Like he pretended to go to a job, and they found out he'd been fired for like months. Like
That's the type of shit Chad would do.
yeah, I think he would. Yeah, just like kiss his wife goodbye, and then just go to a bar or something, or I don't know.
It's really funny. And then they're like at the library, and he's there. Like, what are you doing? Thought you're work. They put me on a research
Yeah.
project at Fuddruckers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our buddy Chad. Good guy.
Good guy, Miss Chad.
Hey, what movie are we reviewing this week?
This week we are reviewing the 2014 Universal Pictures release Ride Along, directed by Tim Story, starring Ice Cube and Kevin Hart.
And before we get to that review, Have you seen anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, a few things at the theater I've been going to see since last episode. I saw Snow White. I went with Megan. This is our second time I noticed that we've gone and saw a badly reviewed or musical in the last year, and I kind of recommend doing that with your with like a date. Go on a date to a empty theater to see a badly reviewed musical and like dance around and sing along, and it's a good time.
But you guys were the only ones in the theater, right?
Right.
So that's a caveat to this. Don't.
Yes, that and Joker 2 were the other ones where the ones where we just danced around. It was fun. So yeah, next time there's a poorly reviewed musical, I say take a date. It's fun. Go to an empty theater.
I don't think Mary was gonna like that. I don't think she's gonna
No, why not? You can make it fun.
make anything fun.
Right. Let's see. I saw Thunderbolts.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. What'd you think?
I thought it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Really entertaining, interestingly structured first three quarters, and I hated the final act. Besides the visuals were great, but
Uh-huh.
God, the themes were so heavy-handed. I was just like rolling my eyes.
Yeah.
Can we get on with this? It's so stupid. They literally have a group hug. Like,
Yeah.
what is going on?
Well, I was not looking forward to it. My interest in superhero Marvel shit is like an all time low. But mom actually for Mother's Day, that was like the one thing playing at our theater, local theater here. So she wanted to go to the movie, so we went to that. I was surprised. I actually enjoyed Thunderbolts a lot more than I thought I would. I remember seeing your review though, and like when the end happened, not to get too spoilery, but I didn't mind it that much. I see what you're saying, being like really heavy handed, but I just glad it wasn't like a thousand flying CGI monkeys they had to fight like again. So
I
at least it
agree
was
with
something
that.
a little different.
Yeah, I should commend it for actually doing something a little different, just a
Mhm.
little though. But it was still like so stupid in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
thematically. Um,
Well,
but I
and
enjoyed it.
hopefully you're not so like sensitive about spoilers. Like, I remember if I would have said that, I remember back in the day, you've been like, oh, the second half's not as good as the first half. You'd be like, oh man, thanks for fucking spoiling it for me.
It'd be one thing if it was like, I don't know, a Nolan movie or something. I don't give a shit about Thunderbolts, like
Yeah.
even if it were like an Avengers movie, I'd be like, hey, easy. But these Marvel movies are so generic, I don't really give a shit. Like,
Yeah. Right
um,
on. Oh, but the last one I wanted to recommend to you is see Better Man. It's that Robbie Williams biopic with him as a CGI chimp. That's really where I really enjoyed that. That's worth seeing.
that's really weird. I have zero interest in that, so it's weird that you like that. I
Yeah.
haven't seen it. I know he's a UK singer. I don't know him,
Yeah.
but
It's
I
one of
find
my favorite
I saw
music biopic.
yeah, I saw that you liked that on Letterboxd, and I was surprised.
Yeah.
The only thing I want to talk about is a television show, Andor. It is fantastic.
I notice you always talk about TV shows on your when we switch to you to your. Do you watch movies at all? Well, I guess you watch Thunderbolts, but you're always bringing up a TV show.
I saw Sabotage, a relatively early Hitchcock movie. It was really good.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Is that good? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to step on your Andor bullshit. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I watch a lot. It's the second golden era of television. Television's like
Is it?
it's fucking amazing. There's so much shit to watch. But yeah, Andor's the best Star Wars shit in like forever. It's very adult.
Really?
Tony Gilroy, it is phenomenal. He writes and directs them. I mean, he has a writing team and shit, and
Yeah.
he doesn't direct them. Sorry, I think he's directed one or two. But anyway, it's his show. He show runs it.
Andor, huh?
It is so good. It's slow at first, and there's only two seasons and it's done.
Mhm.
And then but then it just builds and it's like so fucking good. It's like insanely good. So,
Okay.
but anyway, it's very adult storytelling within the
Mhm.
Star Wars universe. So it's really
Yeah.
interesting. Sabotage is excellent as well. It has a really slow first half, but then the second half is so freaking good and like gripping.
Really?
Highly suggest it. Yeah.
Sabotage. All right. I've gone back and seen some. Oh, I haven't seen that one, so I might check that early Hitchcock one out.
Yeah, I would check it out. Again, at first you're gonna be like, this is fucking boring, but then it finds its foot.
Those kind of movies take patience. It usually takes about 45 minutes for it to finally click and get into it, but they're usually worth it.
It's true. A lot of old movies are like that because it's like a stage play for a while. So it takes your brain a while to get used to the pacing and everything like that.
Well, the editing, the sound, like everything. So like you can't really get lost in it until like it takes a long time.
Yeah, until you like start getting invested in the characters and the story and
Mhm.
everything. But then a lot of them are great.
Yeah.
Well,
Speaking of great movies,
This week we're reviewing Ride Along.
Hold on.
And
Yep.
do you want to give the plot synopsis? Or maybe
I
I
think it's your
should since
first.
you
I
did
think
everything
it's your
else.
turn to give the plot. Yeah.
A detective, Atlanta detective, takes his future wannabe cop brother-in-law on a ride along to scare him out of being a cop to leave his sister or something. And they uncover a big case he's been trying to find regarding gun dealing and a mysterious villain named Omar. No one knows who Omar is. Is that
Yeah.
okay? Is that okay?
That's good. Yeah.
Thank you,
Uh,
Kenny.
yeah. Well, the reason I picked Ride Along is because I want to do something a little more contemporary. We've been doing kind of older movies, like 20, 30, 40, years back. This came out 11 years ago, so it's fairly new for us. I hadn't seen it either. I want to do something I hadn't seen before because we've been reviewing a lot of stuff I've already seen. So yeah, what are you kind of the overall thoughts of Ride Along?
Starts off, I hated it, but as goes, I liked it way more than I thought I would. Way more than I thought I would.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I was surprised. I
Mm-hmm.
hated like the first 20, 30 minutes, but then it has a lot of issues. We'll get into it, but
Yeah.
I started like, I hate this. I hate doing this. I hate watching this. It's great when it's a fun movie or something to talk about.
Uh huh.
And went somewhere for me. I was actually surprised. I liked a lot of aspects of it.
Well, I felt I kind of basically agree, but my thing was like the first 5 minutes was like so bad. I wanted to turn. I was like, oh, I should have picked this. This sucks. Oh man, it's gonna be hard. It's like a cop out. But I didn't think that. I thought that actually the first like act or two was actually pretty good. And the first after like half hour or something, I was thinking to myself, this might be like a pleasant surprise. It might be like that's actually really good. Then like the last 20 minutes or so, I was kind of like, okay, is this over yet? But yeah, overall, I put like middle of the road in all the stuff we've watched. It's nowhere near the bottom. I don't know if I really like say it's great, but yeah,
But you could, if you're with family or something and they throw it on, you don't have to leave the room. You're going to be entertained.
yeah, and it's very much like the formula of the buddy action comedy thing.
Yeah,
So,
I have a checklist for it. It has angry chief,
mm-hmm,
a warehouse,
mm-hmm,
deal goes wrong,
mm-hmm.
damsel in distress,
Yep.
and homophobia.
Oh yeah,
So that's the five
riddle with that.
of a
Yeah,
good,
of a solid buddy action comedy.
and it's got them all. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not trying to reinvent the wheel, though. I wish it had tried a little bit. But so first of all, Kevin Hart's life ambition is to be a cop. He's a security guard.
Yeah.
You find this a lot in movies where they desperately want to be a cop for some reason. Security guards usually. I don't know
Uh-huh.
why, but also he's 35 when they shot this.
Yeah, I was wondering how old these guys were because I guess they're supposed to be maybe around 30 or something. But yeah,
But he even acts. I mean, he plays video games, but he seems like a 35-year-old. That's too late to decide to be a cop. They
what
have
do
a
you, if that was your dream, what have you been doing for the last 15 years? Like, you should have started when you were 20,
yeah. I mean, there's that whole show Rookie about a guy who's like 30s to 40s who becomes a cop, and they make a show
Yeah,
about it because it's so rare and stupid.
yeah.
So I thought that was weird. Also, Ice Cube's a fucking weirdo and a fucking asshole, especially in the first act. He like
Oh,
breaks
yeah.
into their house,
Their house is sitting in the dark with like a flashlight.
a sandwich.
Yeah, that's really weird. He's a dick. I bet a lot of times this like when you have like the rough cop, like maybe like the hard way with James Woods, like he's just a fucking super dick or Nick Nolte in 48 hours, So they were
Yeah,
going for that kind of
but
vibe.
this didn't work as well because you're like,
Yeah.
why is this guy such a fucking prick? Kevin Hart's like a nice guy,
Yeah.
and he like because he's not big enough to protect his sister or whatever. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're being a creep. You're being a
Yeah.
creep and a
There
weirdo.
was a little Tony Montana, like, why are you so into your sister? Like she's an adult, like just fucking leave it alone.
At the end, but it's like in the final minutes almost, he's like says, "Oh, we came up in foster care together. That's why I'm so protective of her." Could have used that in the first act to
Yeah,
justify your
yeah.
crazy
That helps
behavior.
your character. Yeah.
But whatever. So yeah, I thought it was stumbling out of the gates. Couple lines I found funny. Oh yeah, because he's so protective of his sister. Anything sexual with Kevin Hart towards his sister, he hates.
Right. But then Kevin Hart's also openly like sexual, like
Fine.
when
Yeah.
he answers the phone, like, hey, sweet ass, bubble
No,
butt.
no, no.
Like,
Hey, hey, bouncy butt.
Fancy butt, yeah. It's like no, you don't. Someone else in the car, with anybody in the car, I wouldn't be like,
That line made me laugh though. This does incorporate a lot of good comedic set pieces I liked.
yeah,
I like the strip club one. Kevin
yeah.
Hart thinks it's fake, so he's going all crazy with the guns. You've seen stuff like it before, but they did it
Uh
well,
huh.
and he's funny in it.
Well, there's a scene previously to that. It's almost the exact scene from The Hard Way. I don't know if they even have seen The Hard Way or not, but I just thought that was interesting when you see the cop, the other his friend explaining like, "So I'm there," and then Kevin Hart getting all mad, and
Oh
then
yeah,
yeah,
overhears and he realizes he's a joke. Yeah,
right, yeah, it's almost the exact same scene. But I did like you said, there was like some there actual writing going on versus like cop out, which just seemed like they just go places and who the fuck knows what's going on, and
yeah. Why that's a funny? Is that a set piece? No. What are you doing? Yeah,
yeah,
this at least had structure and everything.
yeah,
The main problem is there's that strip club scene, which has a little action, but then there's no action. There's an action scene to open it, and that's like the
yeah.
credits. And then there's the little blurb of a strip club scene,
Uh-huh.
and then there's the warehouse. So there's really only three, two major action sequences, and then the climax, which is in an
Yeah,
apartment. Who thought of that? Like, let's put the finale, our big crescendo builds to this, an apartment.
well, they
Ooh,
got to reuse the set. They're trying to save money, but well, yeah, it does for action, junkies. It is a lull. It's kind of bookends with action sequences, but for these kind of movies, that's not that rare, and I definitely still think it qualifies with like the last 15 minutes explosions, car chases, all that kind of stuff.
yeah, it qualifies as an action. I'm just saying for a movie like
Yeah,
this, I would think it would have more action, especially since this is for broad appeal and stuff. But
right. It's mostly a comedy for like that middle
yeah.
hour or whatever.
Let's see. It's very predictable that the cops,
Hmm.
his partners, are bad guys.
Right.
You're going to see that coming a mile away. But I did like the mystery of who is Omar, and it's not his lieutenant, which
Yeah.
anybody would think that, or someone else in his life. It's randomly Lawrence Fishburne, who's not
Lawrence
even a character,
Fishburne.
and I
Yeah.
loved it.
Ice Cube and Lawrence Fishburne reunited from Boys in the Hood. Yeah.
Exactly, but I loved it because like, oh, there's this is Omar, and it's just some actor we all know. It's not like he's a character in the movie. I just
Yeah.
well,
One thing I think hurts this movie a little bit for me when I kind of looked over the like ones I've liked versus not. I think the PG-13 rating again, kind of like if this was an R, like I think it would have been less a little bland to me. I think they could have done more of that, like him shooting Larry Fishburne, and then Larry Fishburne on the stretcher, like you got me this time. Like I thought, like a little more of an edge might have helped.
and not being able to curse, like you have Ice Cube and Kevin Hart, and
Yeah,
you can't curse that, but they did a good job maneuvering.
it didn't ruin it for me, but I have noticed I tend to like the ones that are like 48 Hours or Lethal Weapon or something that has a little more of an edge to it.
Hart being drugged up in the climax is another fun little set piece,
Yeah.
instead of him just being there, he's basically can't feel pain because he's on all these drugs.
Uh huh.
I hated John Leguizamo. He has him dead to rights. He shoots him. He
Hmm.
shoots Ice Cube, and then he runs up and hits him with the gun, and then he
Oh
gives him
yeah.
a speech.
Oh
Like,
yeah. There's talking villain. Yeah. There's lots of cliches in
the
this
fuck?
one.
Also, they're like his partner, but they're working for the drug dealer. But then when they're like, I'm going to kill him with 1,000 cuts, like, yeah, I'd love to see that. Like, do they actively hate this guy?
Yeah, they were acting like friends, joking around, but no, they really
They
fucking deep down hate the fun to see him die slowly, tortured.
like the worst torturous death you could imagine
Yeah.
is the Chinese torture of 1,000 cuts. Like, yeah, I want to see that. Like, aren't you still his friend? You're just making money on the side doing criminal activities. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, that's pretty much what I have. I do want to say Kevin Hart gets a lot of hate, especially online and stuff.
Yeah. The
He's
backlash.
funny in this. He's good in it. Like he carries this movie. Ice Cube isn't doing shit. This is Kevin Hart's movie.
Well, Ice Cube, I think, is a decent actor, and I think he holds his character. He goes a little harsh, but like he does a good job for what he's doing. I thought I've never been really a Kevin Hart fan. I don't really know if I've ever really seen his stand up and stuff, even though he was like selling out arenas and shit like 10, 15 years ago, whatever this was. But I thought he was funny. I liked his energy and his physical humor and stuff. We've reviewed one Kevin Hart, but he actually commented on the show before, The Man from Toronto, which I thought was terrible.
I
And
don't even remember it.
so that's another one. Oh yeah, you can go back to the episode, you can relive it. But so I didn't know what to expect with this one. So I was like, oh, well, I was surprised. No, he is funny. Okay, this is why he has such a big fan base and stuff.
Yeah, he's very Eddie Murphy, just way more comedic and less serious, good looking and charming. You know,
Right.
he's just like just the funny parts of Eddie Murphy. You like
Uh-huh.
and just turned up to almost cartoonish degree. But it
Yeah.
works for me. I liked it. I thought he was great in it.
Speaking of comics, do you know Gary Owen, the guy that plays Crazy Cody in that movie? They got this Ice Cube's like friend of the force who's in the grocery store going nuts, and Kevin Hart has to like tackle and stuff.
I don't know who that guy is. No, I do not.
His name's Gary Owen. He is a Southern like stand-up comic, but he has a primarily very large black following for a white Southern guy, which is interesting. And I mean, he doesn't really pander to particular. I didn't, from what I've seen of his, but he just has a primary. So I thought that was kind of cool, interesting.
That's interesting. I had no idea.
Yeah,
Let's talk about the director, Tim Story.
yeah,
When I first started working on the studio and I moved to LA, it was
uh-huh.
one of the first jobs I got
Hmm.
delivering parcels. I wasn't even in the mailroom yet for a third party contractor that paid me like $200, $250 a week.
Yeah.
And the first screenplay I read, because it was on the Fox lot, was Taxi. What was it called?
With Jimmy Fallon and Queen Latifah.
Yeah. And even then, I read that screenplay. I was like, this is a horrible screenplay. They're making this.
Yeah,
And with Tim Story directing, and it bombed.
yeah,
Uh, I don't know why because it kind of killed Jimmy Fallon's movie career right out of the gate.
yeah.
Why did Tim Story keep getting work? I guess he's good with the studio. I mean, he did a good
Well, he's the they said like the first black director whose movies have made $1 billion at the box office. He did direct Barbershop.
right. That's right. The
That
barbershop.
was a big hit
Yeah.
for those kind of movies go. He did the Fantastic Four movies, which weren't very well received, but made a lot of
Made
money.
money, yeah.
And then Ride Along was actually, so a
Right
pretty,
along
so
with,
he had
we'll get
like
into the
four or
box
five
office.
hit movies.
Yeah, that's true. Also, do you know he was a rapper before he started Tim Story?
Story?
Yeah, he quit after his sister was killed.
Really? I did not know that. I did meet him when I was working at the Fox lot as a package delivery guy. I thought he was very nice. He had an assistant. His assistant was a very old black man, which
Interesting.
was strange because his most assistants are like these young, good-looking women, that
Yeah.
directors like to have, like Brett Ratner and shit. But yeah, but the guy was really nice too, his assistant. So that's what that stuck with me.
Yeah, maybe he's just a nice guy and agreeable to work with. But also, this movie
Yeah.
looks great. So,
Yeah. Oh, and it moves along. It's well made. I think you
yeah.
could tell a real director did it. Yeah.
Did you have any random notes on the movie before we move on?
Oh, not too many. Now this place takes place in Atlanta. I know back then Atlanta was. Is Atlanta still the place to go to shoot everything? I haven't
Even
really
more
kept
so
up with that.
now, even more so
Really?
now than 10 years ago. Yeah, Atlanta has big studios. They shoot a lot.
Yeah.
Georgia gives them giant tax breaks and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, Atlanta shoots a ton of shit. It's like
Well,
London,
yeah.
Atlanta, and Los Angeles. Those are the three meccas, and Canada.
Well, I noticed like Atlanta would even double for Los Angeles a lot of times. Like, the nice guys like filmed in Atlanta, and then all the B roll was from L.A. I just wonder because like I know certain towns get hot for a while, like Toronto or New Orleans or like Albuquerque or something. So I don't want to know if Atlanta was still like the
Oh
place
yeah,
to be.
Atlanta is
Yeah.
massive. They shoot a
Yeah.
lot of Avengers stuff there. Like all the big shit goes there. Besides London, yeah, LA's just too expensive. LA, you'll see more LA shooting now when big stars
Mhm.
don't want to leave home. So they're like,
Okay.
I'll do this project if they shoot it in LA.
Right.
That's when they'll put that in the budget just to appease the stars.
Yeah. I know we've talked about, we've had our little video game debates and stuff on this show, but I noticed like, some movies, like anyone shown playing video games is like a fucking loser. Like, it's like, God, man, what a fucking joke playing video games. And I've had my share of, making fun of, video game stuff, but for the amount of people that play video games, like they're always depicted as like, what a fucking joke.
Yeah. Even though a lot of, especially people our age who play video games, they're making,
Yeah.
6, 7 figures and working tech and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
Like very
I guess,
smart people play video games.
I guess it's just like the thing of like when someone's showing just flipping channels, like it's supposed to convey like their life is so fucking dull, but everybody fucking flips channels. Like,
Yeah.
no, it's like, that's not like a thing of, anyway.
Yeah, I think he took like the media view of that at a certain era where you played video games, you were a fucking loser.
Uh-huh.
You just put that into your little tiny man brain, and you're like,
Oh, a
"That's
tiny man
real."
brain. No, like my argument base is I just think it's kind of a lame hobby for an adult. That's all I'm saying. And you get really butthurt about it and freak out. I don't know why, but it's probably very telling about you.
It's so funny that you, an ignorant person, would say that. Like you
Uh,
just prefaced this whole conversation with So many people play video games.
They
The
do,
gaming
yeah.
industry makes so
And
much
they're
fucking money.
all fucking man baby losers like yourself. And this movie fucking reveals the truth.
What do you mean? If he didn't know play video games, he wouldn't have been able to save Ice Cube and stop the.
Oh right, yeah. I love how it's always like this is the seventh warp in Zelda. That's how I know where the bad drugs are. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that aspect was a little weird. It was obviously written by people who don't play video games. They had like a
Yeah.
few buzzwords and stuff. Like he doesn't play
Yeah.
video games.
Mhm.
Also, I hate it. He's this loser security guard who lives in this
Mhm.
beautiful house, apartment condo thing,
Oh,
and like a beautiful one in Atlanta. It's like, what the fuck? What does she do for a living? Did they even mention
yeah.
what?
Movies and TV, all these people live in these fucking huge places. Yeah, and like I remember like the Big Lebowski, like the dude's apartment. He's like unemployed. That apartment in Venice was up for grabs at one point, and it was like $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
Like what fucking bowling loser guy can afford that shit?
And even Ice Cube, he's a detective, and detectives do okay, but not enough to have that fucking badass car and like all
Oh
the
yeah,
swag he was wearing and shit. There's just no way.
right.
There's no way he wasn't taking money on the side there. Like
Yeah.
you can't afford all that shit. This did insanely well at the box office.
Well, it did really well for its budget. If you can believe its budget, it was like 30 million, and then made like 150. It didn't really do well overseas, but it did really well in America.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. It didn't do anything overseas because they're both
So
international stars, especially Kevin Hart.
China doesn't like black people.
I know the reputation China has, mostly
Mhm.
earned that. But even China aside, why I don't think they're reporting the worldwide because it would have done well in the UK, it would have done well other places. So
No,
I don't think they were reporting overseas. It did well.
yeah.
Kevin Hart even back then was a pretty bankable star at the time.
Well, it did well. Well, part of the reason I picked it because I know it got a theatrically released sequel. So I was like, okay, well, how bad could it be if it got? And yeah, like the critics hated it. It was
Yeah.
pretty much like 18% on Rotten Tomatoes or something, but audiences dug it. They got like an A cinema score and stuff.
I looked briefly at the sequel. I didn't go too deep because I didn't want, in case we end up doing it at some point. But the sequel got much worse reviews,
Yeah,
so not looking
as
forward
sequels
to that.
tend to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that once we get there, if we get there. So, how would you rate Ride Along?
I give it 3 out of 5. I think it's like, yeah, if you like these movies, if you like those leads, yeah, check it out. I wouldn't probably recommend it to anybody outside that. Like, oh, you got to see Right Along. I liked it okay. Kind of was getting kind of tired of it towards the end, but overall, I was, I didn't hate it, and it was okay to sit through. How about
Yeah,
you?
I give it 2.5. 3.5 buddy movie, 2.5 regular movie.
Okay.
Got action, it's got comedy, it's got set pieces. Could use more action.
Mhm.
Actually, their chemistry wasn't very good, but whatever.
I thought it
Still,
was all right for what it was because they're supposed to be kind of antagonistic a little
yeah,
bit, or Ice Cube is, but yeah, it was fine. I thought it was fine. It wasn't as bad as some of the ones, and it wasn't as worse. This is, like I said, it's very like middle of the road. I think kind of for these for me.
yeah. So I give it 2.5 overall, 3.5 buddy action comedy.
Right on.
Do you have anything else to add on Ride Along before we put it for pace
Um,
of movies?
no, not really. What are we doing next time? It's your pick. What do you think?
I got to think on that, Kenny. I got to because
Yeah,
I want something meaty we can sink our teeth into, something
yeah,
our audience wants to watch. And
yeah.
I have to look up buddy action comedies because I can't even think of the top of my
Well,
head.
every time I'm like, hey, audience, like, pick one for us. It's like Steel Magnolia. It's like, no, it's not a fucking buddy action comedy. God damn it! Like, no one. That seems very hard for people to understand the terms here.
If anybody does have any suggestions, throw them out there in the comments. We will take it into great consideration.
Yeah.
Cool. What do you think about all this politics stuff, huh? What do you think about the
Uh,
tariffs?
which terrorists?
Tariffs.
Oh, you asked me that last episode. You already
What
did
did you
that
say?
bit where you're like asking
No,
me a political thing that you cut away.
I'm not going to do that this time. Has it hit you
Yeah.
in the wallet yet?
Hit me in the wall.
The wallet.
Oh, the wallet. What do you say, kid? Tariffs, wallet. No, I don't know. I think people put too much emphasis on what the president can and can't do over their personal lives. Like if it wasn't for fucking Trump, I'd be a millionaire. If it wasn't for fucking Obama, I'd have a better job. It's like, did you even fucking know who the president was in your life if someone didn't tell